And hello, welcome back here. I wanted to create a video, just a little update focusing on mostly Tigerschool, but then there'll be a few other things that I will include in this video. I feel like I need more light. Let me open the... I opened the open my curtain to outside here for that. But anyway, I actually made a list of things because I was sitting there thinking, instead of going all cold turkey, going live and all that, one thing I didn't realize when I was listening to my previous videos, that this room echoes a lot. I didn't notice it, like right now I don't hear it, but when I hear myself on a playback, I can hear the echo very well. Tigerschool, nothing big, just my opinion on and my experience so far on using it. It's a little different than like what we're used to, really. I guess it's what I'm used to. Again, this is only based on my experience and not the experience. I can't speak for everyone who uses VIPKid or Tigerschool or anything like that. Something I want to go over, like that I've noticed is different, is the prepping for it. I've noticed, like in the past, like especially in the Facebook groups, there's like two teams going on. There's team of prep everything and team of people like me who just kind of go in cold turkey and don't prep for any of the classes. Mostly for like the classes we've done many times, the major courses, even the new major courses, even some of the supplementals. Many of us just felt like we were comfortable going in, just doing it, really. These classes, while there is a pattern, and when you go through the training for it, well, not the training, when you go through the course for it to get your certification, they'll go over like the setup for these, but I've noticed that they're a little different, and just going into it like we would our major courses isn't going to cut it for that. Like this one here, it says 15 slides. So you have 25 minutes to go over 15 slides. So you're going to be doing a lot of talking for that. A lot of these slides are like this. Like slide 1 was just this, welcome to Tiger. So really, now there's 14 slides left for that. And so all of this is when you're going over meeting each other, or as you did with the other courses. That part's not changed. You still need to do that, introduce yourselves. Or if it's someone you've already had, then you can catch up on things. And then you have a title slide, and you're still talking, introducing, and doing all that. And so what I do for this one, every one of them will have like a title, this, part 1, part 2. It's usually like a picture like this, and I'll just, while I'm still introducing each other or whatever, talking, I can gauge the level of the student. And like, for example, this one, it can be as little as, do you like fruit? Or what is your favorite fruit? What fruit do you see here? Where would you see this much fruit? Any kind of questions like that, I try to get them started for that, even though this lesson isn't about fruit. But it's to keep them talking, and parents love it when you have their children talking for that. They throw this in there. I don't know if it's for the parent to see, but you certainly don't go over this with the child. Again, there you go. There's 3 slides that are gone, so now we are down even those. They even give you a little thing here, like how long to spend on them. You can see, like it says 1 minute there. The bottom showing approximately how much you should spend on that. If you're spending 1 minute on this slide, then I don't know why you would be. Anyway, I don't know why you would be. Because children, you're not going to go over this part with children. Something you do, that's something you want to avoid, of showing in this slide and talking, so the kids might get confused thinking you're speaking about this slide, or maybe this is something important. And so if you're talking while you're showing this slide, then they're going to be like, look, what's he saying? What is that? What is that? And then you get into things like this. Now, this is actually a lot compared to what are the other, and I'll bring up another one here in just a moment. But this one, this side here, for the longest time I thought teachers only saw this, but I think the students see this as well, because I don't know, I think they do. I need to go back and make sure of that. Here they'll see this, and what I did, I made them read it first. We just went through it, or no, I didn't. I did the highlighted ones, because these often pop up later on as high frequency words or something like that. High frequency words, review those words like that. Again, I don't know if they see this part. I really don't. I need to go back into the training material where you certify and see if they do or not for that. But you'll have this, but you'll also have, some slides will have the, the teacher notes telling you what you can be doing for different parts of the activities for that. They'll have all of these, but then you need to make sure you don't go through all 5 of these, like right here. Use the shopping list to express your needs and la. And because if you do that, you turn it and you're still having to do a shopping list, which is like right here, like that. So you need to make sure that, because sometimes they'll give you a list of things that they would like for you to do, or some kind of guide. It says, what did I say, teacher? Maybe TG stands for teacher's guide. But then you'll have this on the next page. So sometimes these right here will go over a span of more than one slide there. So you'll need to remember that when you are preparing. If you go in cold turkey, you won't know that. And here we have needs. I don't know if they, this is where I get confused, because sometimes I'll say, what's this word, or need, I'll say the word needs. I never just say, what's this word, but I say one of our vocabulary words is needs. And then I will ask them, so what does needs mean? I'll do this. And they'll give you some kind of definition, and sometimes it matches, sometimes it doesn't. And they give you some sample things they can use for that, like right there. And I'm only supposed to spend 2 minutes, approximately like that. So again, use your own judgment. It's according to what level they are. So prepping is a little bit different. And sometimes they'll have this. When you get to the end of it, you'll see the pre-reading, and you'll see the actual book that they're going to be reading from. Sometimes it goes to this part here and says to be continued, and you'll go to part 2. Sometimes you'll go straight into it like this. Using the vocabulary, reading some of the passage in it for that. So this one goes a little further into it, even though it's only 15. And then it says this. Sometimes it goes straight from that, this right here, going over all this, to bam, to be continued. And then they just go on to the next lesson that they have for that. Here's I put to be continued, and I'll put to part 2 or something like that. Let me find a different one. Oh, this right here, you can no longer, this is something they have here, you can only review prep materials. They're only displayed 72 hours before class and 42 hours after a class. So we suggest you review the material before class. So there's only a window now that you can actually look at the review materials. If you're prepping that far in advance, then you're a super prepper. This is something I want to show you too. Sometimes you'll take 2 or 3, it'll tell you right here, how many slides a certain activity, I'll zoom in there, it'll look like a little thing you see, like an action. It'll like one of those, it'll show you how many slides a particular activity will have. This one only has 2, it looks like. I've seen some of these have like a bunch, well, not a bunch, that's kind of exaggerating. Probably 4 or 5, but like 1, well that was 0, it started at 0, 0, 1, 2. So that's 3 slides there just on this activity. It's not like the other, like the MC courses, or actually the newer MC courses, now the overseas MC courses. You just push that little button. There's usually like a little button right here, and there's little things going on inside the lesson. But this one, no, it's like back to the older system where it's multiple slides. So even though it might say 24, I have one that said 44. This one took 3 slides just to do this here, and I think the next one here. See, this one don't even give you a little action thing like there, but it's a slide just going through this, and then you go over it with them, and you put the right answers in, like a hockey player, whatever. And a little button. And there. So it gives you a whole slide just on the answers there for that. So you have to take that into account as well. When you see 24, it's not going to be 24 things like we're used to in the major courses. And so used to, I would plan in my head in those, I'd plan, okay, a minute per page. And that's on average, sometimes more, sometimes less, it's according to the student. This one, you're going to have to look ahead to make sure you don't have a lot of those. This one does that too as well. Right about the water form, and then it just zooms in on this one here. Everything's the same, then you just shows an example of that. And it goes back to that. So they're using different writing frames. I don't know why they're going, see there's nothing different. This is slide 21. This is slide 23. So it goes back and forth so that's 3 slides there on this particular thing. So you're going to be doing a lot of talking and extending. And this one, let's see, if it's a part 2, you can see right here a 2 like that. If it's an even number, it's going to be a part 2, I think is what it is. But you'll see that at the very beginning of the lesson, part 2. Most of these are broken down as like a part 1, part 2 of this one. And it's meant to be over an hour, but they're booked different. I'll talk about that here in this video as well for that. And my examples of these, I'm only talking about the intermediate course. The beginning course might be slightly different. I actually think they are different. I think the whole lesson is compact into just one 25-minute session. These will expand over into two, part one, part two. And you'll go over that when you take the training module to get certification, unless you're someone, which I used to do this a lot for the other courses. I go in and just take the quizzes and I'd end up getting the certification and worrying about it later. This one you might need to pay a little bit more attention to. The beginning one, you're on your own for that one. So if it's different, if you're someone who's certified in beginner, let me know if that is, or make your own video if you want to, I guess. I don't know, however you want to do that. That's all. I don't know anything about that. The placement trial, I've got no placement trials. I've seen people in the Facebook group talk about that's all they've gotten was trials. I've gotten no trials in this, so I can't really talk to you about that. So I can imagine they're a little bit different. And remember, when you go in all classes, you have to, if it's upcoming classes, it's just straight the next 20 classes that you have. It's like that, like it's always been, or has it always been like, no, in the past it was like all your classes over the next 7 days. Here, they've changed it to only your next 20 courses like that. So my next 20 courses are listed there. When you go in all classes, it'll do like we're used to, but something I keep forgetting when I'm going to look for a class is that you have to go through these tabs up here as well. All right, now it defaults to global, so these are only the global students, which are the MC courses that we're used to, like that. Saudi, I'm not certified for that. Mainland China is if it's like the old platform. If you have level 7, level 8 still booking, I think Journey might still be that. Not the Journey, that's other people. Yeah. Anyway, that's still there. I think there's a few more. If you take the global workshop that VIPKid offers, it'll go over, at least mine did, of what courses are now in the new, which ones are on the old platform, and they'll go over all that for you. So go to Tigerschool for that. And so you'll see some of these that are listed there. Oh, here, this will actually fit right in with the last thing here. I found that you can actually go into the classroom and not the prep materials, and you can see the course. You can see this one has 57 slides, but there's going to be some activities where, see, this one is a part 2, I think. Let me see if it's a part 2. Yeah, it's a part 2, so it'll jump right into, usually it'll jump right into the story for that. The objectives are the same. You just go 1, 2 for that. You'll see like there, look, this is going over, it's that same this is why it's 50-some slides. It's the same thing. Like what I'll do is like, we'll read it. We'll go over some things like that. Read and spell the words, blah, 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 blah. And what time is it? Sometimes it's very basic questions. Some of these I skip because the student's older, advanced, and I'm not going to read that and say, oh, what time is it? And so they'll daytime or nighttime like that. Sometimes I'll do that. And they'll say they're able to go back. If it's something like this, I might at 6 in the morning. And just kind of assessing their comprehension. So you can see that took, I'm already on, this is the first thing, well, was it the first thing in the whole lesson here? Let me see. Yeah, including the title slide and all that. The first 12 slides, when you're getting to the first 2 pages of their reading, which is not a lot of reading, it goes to, yeah, you're on slide 13 before you finish this 2 things right here. This is why it's 57 slides. So you have to plan for that as well. That's going to take a little bit extra getting used to. Once you do one of these, 1 or 2 of these, then then you're going back to how it used to be like that. You know it's going to happen. But it's good to look through just to remind yourself of how many slides are going to address one thing like that. And yeah, so if you're used to the end, yeah, just to get through those few pages, I'm on slide 40. Then they do, what happened this, what happened that. See, look, that's 8 slides just right here, probably. Yep. And then they do oral reading test. Yeah, usually the part 2 has an oral reading test. One of them, I can't remember, they had it backwards. They had this slide first, not this particular slide, but they had like the ending, like the higher number of words, and then like the next slide over was this one's. But I guess there's some glitches. Maybe they fixed it by now. I'm sure someone's pointed it out. So this can have up to 162 words. You'll have a reading oral test. Then you'll jump back into something else. Sometimes you'll jump back into that. Sometimes you won't. See you in the next class for that. And so yeah, that's part of the prepping thing for that. Now I was going to show you some of the classroom tools that you have. you can, like in the training, it'll tell you have all these things. You don't have that yet because this is the newer platform. They're still working some of the kinks and getting it. I guess once it's back up to running where it used to be, you would have all those things that we're used to, but you don't have different color pen. You don't have that little chat box, which I never use that hardly anyway. But you have your basic function magnifier that we've had for quite a while. Timer. You don't have any the little stickers you put wow or good job. You don't have any of that. Oh, chat box, here it is. You do have some emojis you can use. They have a lot more because sometimes they use an iPad. They can use an iPad, I think, still, but we can't use an iPad for these. So they have actually the emojis you get with whatever tablet you're using for that. So you'll see them put a bunch of things, but we are restricted to these ones right now, which I use these sometimes. I'll give them little hearts or stars or flowers. That screen mask they have, the scary mask, it's like, oh, but it looks like just like a black mask. But the kids love that, so it must mean something to them, or I'm just out of touch. I'm getting old, I guess. You're on the bottom, they're on the top. They still give you hearts. They don't do anything, but it's just good to, oh, thank you. Not everyone has stars. I have the stars. Reason why I know not everyone has them yet, there was one lesson I accidentally only gave 4 stars. When I went back to do my feedback like later that day, I was tired, I just took a nap. I just want to take a nap, come back. I couldn't add any more stars. Shoot. I went, oh, shoot. Forgot to do stars. I went in, I submitted a ticket to tell them, can you please add that star? They sent me a ticket back saying, sorry, we can't. Let me show that to you. Let me show it to you now. Here's the ticket I submitted. I only gave 4 stars to someone. I meant to give 5. But here they say, thank you for checking, happy to help. The star function on the global side is still in this testing phase and is only available for a tiny amount of teachers. So I guess I'm one of the lucky ones who have stars because they actually do help a lot sometimes. But there may be a malfunction, which it wasn't a malfunction. I probably did only give 4 stars. I've caught myself doing it several times, and I've usually caught myself before I close the class out. But you can still go back after if you do close the class out, but it was too late for me at that time. It'd been like hours ahead of time. I finished the class, went to take a nap, come back, and it was already, recording was already there, so it was already too late. Unfortunately, stars can't be added after the class is ended. However, we passed on this case to the support team who will communicate with the students and parents. I don't know if the stars mean anything to them right now, as I know used to they would use those stars, save up their points or star whatever, and then they can buy something sort of like how we did with our tokens for that. I'm not for sure if we're still doing that. I haven't asked my kids yet if they do that. I know in the old platform they still can, because my level 7 student said he still can do that, because he does. He'll remind me he wants his stars. The global platform, I'm not for sure if they can still do that or not. I haven't had a higher level enough to have that conversation with them. There is one. He hasn't booked in a while. Maybe he's taking a break. I may ask him when he comes back, but that's kind of awkward. It's hard to just throw it out there. It has to present itself for me to actually ask them that. It's a new platform, so things may not be perfect at this time, which they're not, but they're improving. We'll make it better and better, and we appreciate blah, blah. We appreciate your support and whatever. So, yeah, so you may or may not have stars to give if you're someone who's not with VIPKid and you're just joining, or you're just coming back after taking a hiatus. You may notice you may have stars, you may not have the stars to give students. You still do in level 7, level 8 if you're still on the old platform. I think Journey's on the old platform too, I don't know. But you still have them there. All the functions are still there, the stickers, everything you want to do. Just the global platform, it's very basic. But you do have, if you're like me, I have the stars for that. So I guess I'm one of the tiny amount of teachers who are fortunate for that. You can switch your lines, yada, yada, yada. It's all there. You can refresh your classroom. It doesn't really, just does that like it normally would when you refresh your classroom. Frequently asked questions, it just takes you to that page you have in the portal that we've all seen. They've kind of updated a little bit. You can expand, but it's nothing new, nothing revolutionary there. Oh, what was that? Hold on. Oh, if you're having problems communicating, they give you this here. If you have Korean or Vietnamese parents, they give you like something to. Native Camp does this. They have like a little thing, a little directory of different things you can send to the parent if they you need to send something like, sorry, teacher can't see you, da 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 da. They should give that to like the Chinese version, but I guess I don't want to. I don't know. That's there if you have Korean or Vietnamese parents. But yeah, that's the typical thing. Even like this is the, you can see the major courses are still the same. This is level 5, all the same basic layout, nothing huge going on with that. Another issue I'm seeing is that if you're going to be on the Tiger curriculum and you use Feedback Panda, it's still new. You're not going to have hardly any already created templates for you to pick from. So you're going to be doing a lot of creating them yourself at this point. There may be some in there. I put some in there for mine, but I have yet to find a course where I haven't taught yet. I go in and I have yet to see one that's been created and shared for everybody. So I've been pushing the little share button as I'm going, but you may see mine and think they're crappy. So, I won't hurt my feelings. Something else that I think in an earlier video I talked about how if you go through the training material, it talks about the intermediate courses, I think, like levels 4 and 5, 6, whatever. For the Tigerschool, they are back-to-back. No, they're going to be 50 minutes long for that. Well, they're not 50 minutes long as they book them. And this is just me guessing, so I'm not going to. They probably already addressed in the Facebook group, but I don't go there that often. I try to stay out of there. You'll see them book like this, back to back like this. If you see that in the Tigerschool, that's going to be part 1, part 2. So it's going to you do the class 20. You can take a 5-minute break. Do the next 25 minutes. You just have to leave the class and come back. If it's a new student, and you can see this in the phone app, if they've taken 0 classes and you get someone in Tigerschool, it might be good to remind them that, or tell them or remind them, they're going to have to leave the classroom and come back. Because I've had one student who didn't know that. And so when I said, all right, see you in a moment, like I waved at him, see you in a moment, yeah. And then like I left and had a little 5-minute, I went and opened up the next class, took me like a little break, grab something to drink real quick, whatever I had to do, like we normally do between classes. Came back and then started the class, and I was waiting and waiting. I was like, maybe something happened. I don't know. Or maybe internet was bad on his end. I check my stuff and I go here and check these. I hear a lot. I screenshot this every so often when there's a no-show. And turned out he didn't know that you had to leave that class and come back into the to the next class for that. Just like if they're back-to-back like they were in the past before different Chinese regulations prevented students from getting back-to-back classes. Other platforms like Ngu, if they're back-to-back, their system somehow ties it together, and you just stay in that same classroom for the whole time. Here, it's not like that. It's back-to-back, and sometimes they may just take one class. They may just take the part 1, and they want to take part 2 another day. Or some of them will take part 1 with one teacher, part 2 under another teacher, which I don't recommend that because for them, but you really can't tell them that, I guess. But to me, that would be confusing because it's good if you leave off here that you continue with it on like that. Because even though we all have the same curriculum, 2 teachers have 2 different teaching styles, where they start and end, how they get to that point, and then if another teacher's picking over, and we don't have teacher-to-teacher feedback yet. And so it's not like we have that. We can share, this is where we ended, this is where the kid's level is, well, I'll have to take over, good luck. We don't have that, so it's good for them to do it this way, but teach their own. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.